In the last lecture, number 8, I showed you guys how to parse all of the fields and to apply a token number so that we could keep track of which token we were looking at. So that was kind of in between part 1 and part 2 of dealing with structs. And so I think I called that one str token or string talk.c. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and copy string talk.c, and I'll call the new program add to struct.c. And let me show you, I'll compile it. There we go. And we'll execute it. And so that's what it did. It went out and it would grab a line from the file and then break it up into each field 1 through 5 and number it. Then it would go get the next line and do it again until we exhausted the file. So that's where we left off. So now we want to add processing to not only grab all the tokens, but to figure out which field are we working on currently and to store that in the transaction structure. So now we want to move forward and we want to figure out, how do we start processing based on the token that we are currently looking at. Okay, so here's how I choose to do this. We could use a bunch of if statements, or we could use a switch statement. And I think I'm going to use a switch statement. And I think this will help you folks to see what that looks like and how we use it. So I'm going to switch on an integer value, which is the token num. So the first time through, we know token num is 1. And then it'll go 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we have a weird corrupted file, then we may have more. And I'll show you how to deal with that too. Okay, so this is the basic syntax. Switch on some integer value, and then a block, left curly brace, right curly brace, a block of code where we put all of our case statements. So in the case that token num is 1, we know from looking at the file, analyzing the file, that this is the date field. Okay, and you'll recall that every case statement should have a break under it. And number 2 is going to be the amount. So I'm going to go ahead and put amount in there. And we want to have a break statement. And then case 3 is going to be, I believe it was the cleared flag, which was the star character. And we don't really care, but I'm leaving it in because I just want to show you how to process things. And then there's field 4, case 4, which is the check number field. And we'll have our break. Oh, I see the problem here. My syntax coloring is alerting me to a problem because I didn't quite finish that comment up there. All right, let me get back where I was. Okay, I got to get back to insert. Okay, tab, and then break, and then case 5 is our 5th field, which is the description field. And you might think we're done with our case statement, but we're not. Because you always, as a programmer, you always want to take care of border cases. And so what happens if we get more than 6 fields? We don't expect to, but that's where the default comes in. In case we get more than 5 fields. Okay, and here we'll say break. Okay, so it doesn't do anything yet other than to compare the case statement to the value of token and the code follows that path. So I believe what I can do here, just to show you, is I will just say printf %s and PCH, because PCH is the non-null pointer that we got. Syntax coloring is messed up because I was trying to put in a new line, but I didn't finish. So there we go. There, that fixed it. Okay, and then I'm just going to copy this and put one at each place. Probably would have been smart if I also indicate where we are. So I'll say case 1, and I'll say case, and this is a good debugging mechanism too. We can always write code and then take it out later. Case 2, case 3. And there's actually a smarter way to do what I'm doing, but I wasn't smart enough to think of it. Case 5, and then case, or default. So, okay, so let's just compile this and see what we get. Okay, now I'll run it, and off it goes. And you can see that case 1 is the date, and case 2 is the amount, and case 3 is the cleared flag, case 4 is the check number field, case 5 is the description. Now we're getting it twice, and you might wonder why. But if you'll remember, when I started to build the inner while statements switch statement, I never took out our original printf statement. And that's also the one that increments the token number. And so what I need to do here is I need to get rid of this redundant printf, but I don't want to get rid of the token incrementer. Otherwise, we'll be in an infinite loop. And there we go. Let's give this a try. Now that should clean up our program a little bit. And sure enough, that cleaned it up quite a bit. Now we're getting each of the 5 tokens, and we're recognizing them inside the case statement based on that token number. And this is proof that it does that, because you can see that I am no longer printing outside of the switch statement. I was calling it a case statement, sorry. But it's definitely within the switch statement, because the only place in the program for it to say case 1 in the string is going to be inside the case 1 block.